And we're back. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, LaCie Knight, back with another episode of Urban Whispers podcast. I have my fabulous cousin and co host, Sloane underscore Bueller, with me. And Morg's not here, but we still got DC representation, and the best DC representation with the author Britt W with us today, you guys. It's not just us opining about a book, we get to opine about the author who wrote a book that we all are just
Yes,
vibing
yes.
about. So how are you today, Britt?
I am doing well. I had some nice little downtime this holiday weekend just to recoup because I've had a
Mm,
lot going on. So I'm been good. I'm good, but I'm always on the
I
grind.
love that. And Sloan, how was your week?
Um, you know, my party, I realized I was calling it a party, but I needed it to be called a kickback, just a little get together, a little gathering. It didn't work out. I was exhausted. I was
Yeah.
exhausted.
Oh,
I did cook. Had my brother get on the grill for me. So that worked out well. But
yes.
there's always tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you gonna have your kickback on Monday? Monday's
No,
kickback.
I mean tomorrow just like the future.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
think you. I
Mhm.
was like, Sloan having a kickback. Okay,
Girl,
great.
I was exhausted. I tried so hard. I probably slept like 4 hours the night before. Uh
Yeah.
about midday, I wanted a nap, and that's when people started showing up. And I said, oh,
Also,
okay.
people did. You have folks up here, and then
Well,
you.
our aunt, she came by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. But that's enough. That's a vibe. Okay.
That's
Well,
enough. That's enough. It was enough because I was, and I did watch movies. I watched movies with my brother. We watched several movies. I watch Independence Day every year. Will Smith saving
I
us from
thought
the
about that.
aliens.
Oh, it's so long.
I know it's a long
It's
movie.
so long.
Oh, I love it. I gotta watch it every Independence Day. Save us from the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And then it lets me watch in several
Gosh.
others. So
What did I
Yeah.
do yesterday? I
what you
hid
do?
out. It was too hot to do anything in DC. It was just really hot. My daughter just got back in town
And
from Costa
human.
Rica. It was hot, humid,
Hmm.
Oh,
annoying. The
nice.
people, we had some folks that tried to scare people with their little rally march in the city, and
Oh
then
yeah.
three DC folks came and shut them up real quick. Had them trembling, trying to get back to the metro station, which I personally found to be hilarious because it was 400 of y'all and maybe
It was
20 people
so.
with some loudspeakers saying yelling free DC, and y'all go running down into the metro and can't even tap your
Mhm.
cards. Just nervous with the little mask on.
Mhm.
It was absolutely. I was just like, damn, we going all the way back for real. Y'all got all the audacity. And then I sat there and I thought, this is the same group of people that didn't want to wear a mask during COVID. But it's 111 degrees outside, and y'all got on masks, y'all got on shades,
And they got
all of that.
masks on.
You got all of it, but couldn't wear your
Hmm.
little mask just to keep your cousin safe during the pandemic. It was wild.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So, I sat there, I watched that. Didn't feel like cooking, so we went to my daughter's uncle's house for some food, so I wouldn't have to cook in the heat. Then I was like, I
Hmm.
live in Southeast. I need to get back on the South Side because it's definitely about to turn into baby Beirut, and it did. We had a
Yeah, the
fireworks in the
fireworks are crazy.
Southeast that rivaled what President Trump did for an hour. He had an hour of fireworks yesterday. Well, no, this morning.
Hmm.
He had his July 4th fireworks at midnight on July 5th. I just want y'all to let that marinate.
Child, a mess. A mess.
He had that happen. And yeah, it truly was a mess. It was foolish. Super, super foolish.
Hmm. Just
All of
no
that.
sense at all.
No sense at all. The people got rained out and they had to go find shelter in the African American History Museum. It just everything that happened
The
yesterday couldn't have
irony.
been better written by author.
The
And that
irony.
that gives me an opportunity to segue into a little bit about Brit. And I usually don't do this, but I am going to scan over your bio just a little bit because the folks need
Mhm.
to know my podcast or our podcast is really lifted toward given towards women. It started about Black women authors in the space of romance. And years ago, I'm an avid reader, and I'll just give you like an overview. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
avid reader, but I'm more into sci-fi and thriller. And so maybe at this point, 11 years ago, an author asked me to like, she was a romance writer. And so she was like, I
Mm-hmm.
want you to read my book. And if you like it, I think it'll sell well. And it did. Like she was, and I read it. I was like,
Mm.
oh, this isn't what I was thinking when I thought romance. You know, you think like the Harlequin. For me, I'm old, so I was thinking Harlequin romance, and you touch her body, and there's quivering and like all of that. So her book wasn't given that, and it was an interracial romance. And so, and I wrote her, but I was like, "Girl, I love this. I love the story. I love it." And it was a mafia romance. And so I was like, oh, y'all shooting people.
Mm.
There's like betrayal happening in addition to the love. And she was like, yeah, girl, come to my world. And so I was like, all right. So I started
Right.
reading other different type. And I was like, no, how come nobody's talking about this except for the women who read this? And why are your books being like $4.99 when there's a book that another author has written that is white and they charging me $15 for it. So I was like, I need to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate y'all at the very least. So I started originally being only an IR commentator in Facebook, and I'd be in different Facebook groups and go live
Okay.
with those authors and have conversations. And then my fabulous cousin was like, oh, you read romance? Well, you need to read this book. And she pushed me into Lady Nisha. And I was like, or Sion Lee, one of them. We go up
It was
for
Dion
audible.
Lee first.
It was Sion Lee. Okay. And I read that
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I keep just getting, I'm always just so amazed with the world that these Black women create in the space of romance. You have contemporary romance, you have
Mm-hmm.
your street literature,
Yeah.
urban romance, interracial romance, romantasy. Like I'm definitely locked in with any Davenport and her nigga fairies with grills. Like I'm all about that right now. Because I'm very ratchet. I was like, fairies with grills, bitch, sign me up. I'm living for it. So I'm excited to have Britt W with us, who is another contemporary romance author. She's a beautiful Black woman, as y'all can see, a storyteller.
Thank
She's
you.
from the TT. Yeah, girl, yes. I'm gonna say it because you're just cute. I'm gonna keep saying it. And so she's from the DMV area, guided by this motto that I love: pen in hand, heart
Yeah.
on the page. She writes emotionally layered love stories that celebrate Black love while exploring healing, self worth, vulnerability, and the courage to begin. And her novel that we're going to drill her about, Open for Business, that I love, was nominated. So congratulations in advance for a Black Girls Who Read Best
Thank you.
Romance Literary Award, and has become a reader favorite. And I see why, because I just read it. And it's for its cozy coffee shop setting, the witty banner, and emotional depth. So when she's not writing, she is a part of my favorite book club, Plot Twist and Prosecco. Shout out to Amy. She attends literary events and she's building a community around books, healing, and authentic storytelling. And the most important thing is she's like me. She feels like Black love needs to be celebrated in all of its beauty, complexity, and joy. And I really
Yeah.
appreciate, I mean, I like the struggle love stories. I dive into them, but I do love the fact that you center them around people being in a space where there is joy already there. There's some complexity and there's nuance, but it doesn't like necessarily start off with the harsh part of everything. So I want to say
Mhm.
thank you for that. And again, welcome you to the Urban Whispers
Thank
podcast
you.
for sure.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
So, what prompted you to even just get into writing in general? I know it's like the
You
basic
said get
beginning
into
question.
writing in general?
Yeah, what started the journey for writing?
I have been writing for many years. Writing for me was an escape. I anything that I would, deal with and I struggle with that I internalized, I would go and write about it. So I think that it caters to me having a very introspective style of writing because I was always in my own head. So I know how to create a story where the readers can be in a character's head. But it started really for me just as a way to vent, as a way to get things out. And as I got older, I took it more and more serious. I started really studying the craft of writing because it is a craft, it's a true art. And I wanted to understand the difference between just writing something and storytelling. So
Mm.
it's been a journey for me of, yeah, it's been a journey for me of, understanding that everyone really can write. We all can get a journal. We all can write down our intrusive thoughts and things of that nature. But to be able to storytell is something that takes a true talent, and it's a skill, and it's something that you can't just rush into. And I tell that to any authors. You have to sit with the material. These characters, by the end, when I'm done, I know them. So that's why I feel like it's a huge compliment when my readers feel like they could connect and relate to the characters. Because I spend a lot of time building them. But no, it really started out as a way for me to deal with, things that were difficult, and I didn't necessarily have the outlet that I needed at certain points in my life. And then it transitioned into me going to, writing camps and taking classes and courses and things, really, really getting serious about it. But it was always a big part of my life. I always say it's like my first husband. I've
Hmm.
been
Hmm.
in relationships with other talents in my life, but that's always been the number one. It's always been.
Yeah, I appreciate all of that. I think
Mhm.
the fact that you're mentioning, and I tell everybody this, that you took the time to hone the craft before you present something is like necessary for folks to understand. I think whenever anyone is good at anything and they put stuff out, like there's a few authors that I enjoy what they write, and they'll throw things out monthly, but it's never bad. But there is also this
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgement that before they were able to crank out anything, they had to put that work in the back end. And so I think
Yeah. Yeah.
people take for granted the amount of work that you all did studying before you actually started writing. So it's
Yes.
like
Yeah.
it's good
Yeah.
study.
I tell people all the time, like, for me, it's been such a huge part of my life for so long. Like, it's like second nature, but I still feel like no matter what, it's like anything, an artist, a singer, an actor, you want to get better and better and better
Hmm.
and better. And for me, storytelling was important. I was like, okay, I'm doing these very character driven storylines, but how can I make the reader feel like they're there? They're there with that character, experiencing whatever it is. And that is something that I joined a Writers Guild. Very, very successful author. He's been on the best New York Times bestselling list so many times. And the way he broke down storytelling was just, I was just like an aha moment, like, okay, okay. And it's been, just a up and up ever since of me. Like, I got to continue to, I just like for you guys to feel like you can immerse into the story. Even if you don't agree with everything that's going on in the story, you're just immersed in it. That's the
Yeah,
goal every time I go out.
Mhm.
That's the
yeah.
goal.
I love it. I think that I like what you said too just then. You're like, even if you don't agree with everything, I want you to feel like you're a part of the story. So it's like, and
Mhm.
that's what I like as a reader. I like to immediately I tell everybody,
Yeah.
when I'm reading a book, and people are always some people really enjoy when the author provides the visuals, and I was like, oh, I don't need the visual because I am
Mhm.
the female main character. Like, so they be like, I wonder what Demi looks like. I was like, she look like me. If y'all need to know, she look like I immediately become
I've heard a couple of people say that. They're like, "Oh no,
You drive
I'm
me
the
crazy
character." I'm
with
like,
that.
"Okay."
See, I still don't need the visuals, but I do picture people. So you drive me crazy when you say, "Oh, everybody looks like me." I don't
thank you.
self-insert, but I do picture people, and it was so interesting because while I was reading this book, like I definitely had a thought for Lyle in my head, and then you like kind of described him a little bit later on
Yeah.
in the book, and I said, "Well, I'm just gonna have to ignore that part. I'm sorry."
Listen, I always say, however you guys see them, that's how you see them. For
Mhm.
instance, when I wrote it, I knew what he looked like, and I had spent a lot of time with that visual. But when all the arcs start doing their visual reviews, everybody used Michael B. Jordan for Loud, and I was like, okay, that's how y'all see him. By all means, and manifest it for the film. Thank you so much.
There you go. Manifested for the absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So it's how you guys see them. Yeah, it's how you
Mhm.
see them.
So do you
Because
pronounce
you
it
may picture something completely different.
right? Right. So thinking of, and we're talking about her latest book, Open for Business. Do you pronounce it Rubiel, or how do you pronounce the
It's
city?
Ruviel.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
Ruviel.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
was like, look at you using
Hmm.
that Louisiana roots. I was like, let me use this Britt.
Yes.
And is this in
Yes.
Rubiel based on a place that you've been to, or is this something that just came to you that you created completely?
It's definitely based on some of my favorite parts of the South. I didn't
Okay.
hone in on one particular place, although readers feel like, oh, it's like this or it's like this. Especially Southern women are like, no, I felt this when I read it. I think everyone is leaning towards Louisiana, which is a place I love, but it was a combination, honestly, of different places. And I was just
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm going to create this, because in Louisiana, it's not towns, it's parishes. So,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
but it's a combination of things.
I love
Yeah,
it.
it's
So
just
what came?
my little southern.
You did a good job, madam. I enjoyed it. It was giving me a
Thank
little.
you.
And when I saw it, I was like, a Ruvielle romance. I was like, is Ruvielle a different terminology for the body type or whatever? But then when I started reading, because they got Rubenesque, they got.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So I was like, whatever. Once I started reading it, I was like, well, let me Google it and see if we could find something. And then all the work it can, and then Google, and I didn't do Chat GBT or any Gen AI, because I figured Google is AI just like me. And it kept re trying to edit the word. I was like, oh, she made this up. Cool, bet.
Yeah.
So I was
Yes. Yes.
let me start researching and just flip my Kindle open and get to reading instead of making my own. So what came
Yes,
first for
yes.
you
No,
with this
it's
book?
my fictional time.
I love it. What came first? Was it
Um, what definitely came what definitely came first was the world building aspect. I knew that I wanted to create a fictional world. I knew that it was going to lead to interconnected stories. So the town itself is what came first, and then the storyline followed. Demi came before Lao,
okay?
and I was just like, okay, I knew she was going to be fiery and things of that nature, but I didn't necessarily know what her struggles and things were going to be. When I sit down to write, I do a lot of character profile first. I don't do a lot of outlining. And I know people when they hear it, like, what? I'm like, I don't. But the characters, they tell me their story. So once I do a nice outline of that character, I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going to go with this. And then came Lao. And, that's pretty much how it happens for me, usually when I'm writing.
Mhm.
So Demi
Yeah,
beating
usually.
everybody's ass in the first chapter came to you first. The beat down came first.
And shout out to her for that,
So
because
I will tell you this. Yes, yes. I will tell you this. So that was not the first direction that I was going to go with Demi. I actually was going to start it off with you guys kind of after everything had happened.
Mm,
And I was just like, you really rob your readers of the experience when you do
thank
that
you.
because I'm not the biggest fan of flashbacks.
Hmm.
I hope that doesn't come back to bite me. But I just feel like I like for you guys to feel like you were there. You were at
Mhm.
that engagement party. So if I had robbed you guys of that and just said, oh, 3 months later, this is where it is, I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
So I sat with it and I said, well, I'm gonna take them to the engagement party versus give it to you in a flashback. So that's how that happened. But it wasn't something that I went in initially with. It wasn't. But when I went back, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna take them to the party. I'm gonna show them everything that happened instead of having her sum it up for you.
I appreciate it honestly
Me
because I
too.
think that it shows it creates it makes you as a woman, number one, you automatically click in with her and you're on her side, regardless of how she has this harsh view before she meets Lyle. Like, I'm never talking to another man again. You would have been like, girl, like I would have been like, girl, come on, give somebody a shot. But it's like,
Mhm.
no, you were
Right.
definitely betrayed in this very real way that we all got to see. And we also are like, well, me, like I'm a rah rah. Yeah, I would have tore that place apart too. I'm sitting here looking for you. I'm up here changing who I am for this man, and you gonna sit here and mess with my home. And I'm not. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling anything because I'm a queen of a spoiler. So if I am, y'all shut me down. And this girl, I knocked this girl up out of the gutter. She would have been nothing without me. And y'all in the wherever you at, yes, I would have done. So for me, it was like
See,
I appreciate that. I
yeah.
understand immediately that fracture to your heart,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
because I'm the same way now. I went through my own heartbreak, and it's like I tell everybody, I was like, literally, the next man that comes into my life, he has to really say, he has to know my real name, and he literally got to say, God told me to tell you that I'm your man. Like that's the exact. Well, now any nigga will know what the sentence is, so I got to
Mm-hmm.
get a sentence. I just sat here and told everybody, but it's a very specific sentence that I would know because it's too foolish out here. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
me and Demi, yes, girl,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
But I loved it. I loved it because it really
Yeah. Yeah.
set the tone for who Demi is as a person throughout the book. Like immediately, like, okay, Demi, she was hurt because she was in love. That was her friend. Like, you can really, really see that. And you also know, like, Demi is somebody who's not going to take a whole lot of nonsense, which really takes the tone for the rest of the book with all all these little twists
Yeah.
and turns, that this took
Yeah.
us through. It was like, Demi was like, nope,
Yeah.
okay. And it really set for why she was just so adamant about, no, I'm not taking this.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That was important to me. I wanted to be able to showcase an FMC that had went through a very, very extreme heartbreak and betrayal, but also knew how to stand her ground. And that's like a common factor with all of my FMCs. I want to be able to show them vulnerable and healing, but also like don't play with me, like run up. So
right.
you know,
Mhm.
I was very I'm very proud of her as an FMC. I'm very proud of that character because I was able to show like you can still love hard, you can still forgive, but you can still, stand your ground and also, have morals and things that you live by. So I think I did a pretty good job of giving her layers.
Absolutely. You got a question, Sloan? I got more, but I don't
I
want
know
to.
you have more. Okay. Oh goodness. You know, a lot of times we talk about like pacing. So like, and I'm going to say this. So when I first started, I was like, oh, I don't know about this trope, and then it's like revealed, and I look down and I'm not even halfway through, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is about to turn some more, and then it turns again, and I'm like, okay, so it's turning into this trope, and then I look down and then that's resolved, and I look down and I said, okay, we got some more. So like in terms of that, like how did you decide like, okay, I'm gonna start out this way, but it's definitely not going to be, this is not the book, this is part of it, but does that
Hmm.
make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think I know where you're. I
Yeah.
think that with this book, so much of it was unexpected, right? First and foremost, we
Hmm.
start off with what everyone is coining a cutesy cover. And a lot of us as authors are finding out readers really judge cutesy covers. You guys don't expect much from them. And I'm like, girl, the stuff that goes on in some of those books is so it was so much of it is unexpected from the very beginning. You got the cover, you got
Hmm.
the premise, and then as you're reading, you're like, wait, hold up. So that was all very strategic on my part. I didn't want
Mhm.
anyone to feel like they knew what was going to happen next.
Well, you
Um,
nailed that.
and that's just thank you. And that's just something that I'm actively working on as an author as I continue to put more and more projects out. I don't want to get too far ahead because I know that may come up at some point in this discussion, but even with the next one, it's like y'all are going to be like, how did we get here? So it's just something that I actively do, and I think it keeps the readers like, wait a minute, it just keeps y'all turning the pages. But I think the mindset I had was no matter the twists and turns, the common goal is both of them, you're going to see them differently at the end than how you met them. And so that's what I wanted to
Hmm.
keep at the forefront. But it's intentional, of course, it is. It's
Yeah.
intentional. to have
I'm
you
gonna
like,
say I agree about the cutesy cover because it was like a cutesy cover, and then like the beginning little plot, I was like, okay, well this matches the cutesy cover, okay, and then it's like, okay, well,
yeah,
let's throw all of that out the window because this is resolved. This is no longer an issue, and we're not even halfway through.
yes,
Right,
yes,
exactly.
yes,
And I was like, in the
yeah,
cutesy cover, yes. I said, oh, this is gonna be a little small town romance. I love those.
Yes.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm looking because I read off of a Kindle, so I was like, oh, is this a
Mm-hmm.
novella? Because what else she got to talk about? It was like, bam, that's what else I got to talk about.
Mhm.
That's it. And I was like, oh, okay.
And then
Mm-hmm.
and then here was
Yeah,
some more
those.
bam.
Yes.
It's like 80% of the way through, and we're getting bam again, and it's like, oh, okay.
Britt's like, I'm gonna hit y'all again
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
thought that this was a simple story. Here we go again. And here you go again. And
Yes,
like,
yes.
and I and one thing when it's done right, I always have an appreciation for it, but I hate when authors sit here and try to redeem a character. And I was like, why are you making me like feel bad for this person?
I felt
Why
it too. I was like,
I was like, girl, fuck her. The whole book. Even when she
Yeah.
got
I mean, that's so many, like, I've had so many readers tell me. I had someone come up to me at Chocolate City Lit Fest, and she said, I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't like how she forgave her. And I said, well, that's your journey. That's your
right.
situation. Because
That
this is how I look at it. And I've had this question asked a couple times to me as the author of the book. There is nothing that Demi could have done to Angelica worse than Angelica having to watch her win. You have to now sit on the sidelines of a situation you could have been a part of. This woman ultimately got with a man, got engaged to a multimillionaire. So you're going to miss out on all the girls' trips, all the whatever he's doing for everybody. Like, so that's the ultimate revenge. So I just tell people, like, she already had beat her ass. What y'all want?
No, I mean, that's what I said. That was what I took away. I was like, of course she's gonna forgive her. I've won. Like, you can't beat me in a fight. That's obvious. You can't take my man press to me. That's obvious. I saved my city. That's what?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna forgive you for your discretion. Yeah, but I was just like, I still don't like you. And she even said it. She was like, I'm gonna forgive, but that's it. I forgave you. And so moving on.
That's it. Yeah.
But what I meant was, like, I can see a redemption arc for her because of how you the story. And so usually for me, when I hate you, I just hate you. I don't need to know nothing else about you. But now I'm like, oh, now I need to know about what you gonna do, girl. And feel and there's been a couple of authors that are really good at doing that, and I just be like, damn, I really wanted to hate this person, but you lay out all of the reasons.
I agree. I've read some too.
Yeah, and all these reasons why they acted that way, it makes sense when you just really think about it from a realistic perspective. And I was like, all right, thanks, Britt. I guess she cool or whatever.
I could see her being redeemed. But I'm like, Demi, I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. But you still got to sit over there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll never.
Yeah.
You're never going to be back in.
That part of the storyline was a lot like how I look at life. It's like, child, you got to sit back and watch me win. So I'm not going to waste my time with walking around with all this bitterness and grudge. It's a waste. No. I'm not gonna do it. But I respect where everyone is on their journey. I said that to another, I was on another podcast. I said, listen, if you ain't there yet, I understand. It took me a decade to get to this point in my life. So I get it. Forgiveness is a journey. It's a journey.
It's a necessary one. I think it was great. I think that and you said, you made this town, which I love, and I love the fact that you got people that's pressed to gentrify this town, because that's how I feel about. And like I said, I put myself in the book, so I also put the area, the city that I'm in my book, and it's like, people keep trying to come over here and ward. We don't want their asses. Like, if you're not gonna stop it, gone. I'm like, I'm glad they still shooting outside because I don't want everybody over here. So like, so even with like the situation, the reason that Lyle came into Rubiel was to gentrify it, and so, but you know, like they came to a happy medium or whatever. But just thinking about, he literally was always about his business and ambitious, and you know, he came in so suave, just like I loved it. What, when you were creating him for Demi, what, I don't, and you know, some authors say these people just pop up for you in a dream. Like I've written 2 books and I have the 3rd book and I'm going through the process, and this particular character did come to me, but I don't know how to go from one point to one point, so the story's just holding until I figure that out. But what made him right the right love interest for Demi in this book?
I think that both of them was what was necessary for their lives, because he was used to women pretty much doing any and everything for him, to get him, to be with him, to stay with him. And he meets this woman where she's like, I don't need any of that. I just, you know, she was a very simple woman, but she also had all these traits and qualities that he wasn't accustomed to. So it was pretty much the same thing with her and him. Like he allowed her to, you know, be this independent woman. You know, he wanted her to know how strong she was. You know, he didn't want her to feel that she was, you know, weak and all these different things. So it was just a balance. And I think that I wanted to showcase that in their banter, in their chemistry, and also in their spice, that they were what, you know, each other needed, you know, just as a balance, you know. But I love Lyle. Like he's,
I did too. I was never mad.
I love writing him.
I was never irritated with him. Like I could not, you know, like for me, he came in correct. It's not his fault you didn't read the name on the black card, girl. But you know, like that was literally my thought. I was like, the man, girl, why you mad? You didn't do your due diligence. But that's just because
yeah.
Always looking for the MMC.
Yeah. And I think one of my favorite parts about writing him too was that he wasn't afraid to show his yearning for her, which a lot of times men in power, they struggle with that. It's like, no, I don't want her to know. He was like, you know, shut my day, who gonna check me? Like, I want you, come outside.
Right.
So, you know, I love that about him too. I did. I enjoyed that part about him for sure, because he had no shame. He like, I'm sitting outside the house.
He was doing whatever too. He was like, I'm done, and he was like, no, we're not. What do I have to do? What I gotta give up? Come on, Akeem. You want me to renounce my throne? I renounced. I'm like, I love her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in a way, that is how it was. You know, that's his empire. So
yeah. And I feel like it was just a temporary break, which I loved. I just feel like you created so many revenues to keep coming, avenues to keep coming back, where it's like, and everything is exciting to come back to. So I'm just really like vibing with the community that you created, and it's like I said, you created a community. Her family was pretty tight. Like the friend that she kept was necessary. So it's like, how did you go about creating? I know you said you wanted to create the town, but the friend groups and the side characters. You know, how intentional were you when you created all of that?
That was very intentional. I had that same mindset when I worked on my debut series, because those 2 characters go through some very heavy things, and I said, you know, everyone needs a village. Everyone needs people to hold them accountable, people to be a shoulder, an ear. So I kept that same mindset when I went into Open for Business, and I was just like, you know, I wanted one of them to come from a strong family dynamic, because clearly Lyle doesn't. So Demi had to have that aspect of her storyline. But all of that was intentional. My side characters, they play a pivotal role in helping those main characters get things. Um, Austin is based on a real person. So, he comes from a real place of someone who had always been very supportive to me. So that character wasn't a stretch to write. But yeah, I just think I needed it to be, Lyle had a very fractured relationship with his mom, his sibling. That wasn't Demi's life, so I needed it to just have almost a balance in a sense. So that's where the creation of the side characters came in. But on Lyle's side, he had like Redford and Biggs, who were like father figures. So that was intentional to him. Like somebody got to hold him down. He needs somebody,
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a part of the storyline of who's going to be the individual that these characters can lean on, especially if they don't have it within their family.
I think that is so interesting that you said about you wanted somebody with strong family connections, considering Demi, she does have strong family connections, not just her biological family, but her extended one because her parents are gone. And so you really, you
Yeah.
see this relationship with her biological sister is super tight. And you can kind of infer that that's
Mm-hmm.
how her relationship with Angelica was because they knew each other since childhood,
Yeah.
so it really kind of emphasizes the
Mm-hmm.
betrayal in chapter 1.
Mm-hmm.
And, I really
Yeah.
loved seeing like her family was so tight. Like, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a slight spoiler, y'all. When she runs into her ex, for the first time
Yeah.
in 3 months, and Austin is like right there stepping in immediately. She doesn't need to say anything. And he's just like, yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
here. And I love that considering, especially Austin is
Yes.
a friend from the community and not necessarily like a
Yeah.
friend that she's had for years and years, like
Mm-hmm.
Angelica
Yeah.
was a friend.
Yeah.
He's a friend from the community. And that was just
Mm-hmm.
so beautiful because,
Mm-hmm.
it really
Oh,
shows how
thanks.
Rubiel was just a community. And so I don't know, that made me like not like Lyle for that because I'm like, oh, I can't stand the gentrification of it all. But
Right, right.
but
Yeah,
just for
because
that
this is
reason,
this
I'm
is
like,
very
okay,
close
he's
knit.
gonna come around. But
Yeah. It's a close knit community of people who,
mhm,
watched you grow up. And,
mhm,
so it also added to why she would fight so hard for something because it's like, this is our history, our foundation. So, all of that was at the forefront of my mind. Like, if you're going to create this fictional town, it has to have this, almost has to be a character within itself. And that's
yes,
how I pictured Rubiel. It's like, if I take everyone away, what do you guys see when you see this town? And I think that's what stayed at the forefront of my mind. That's what it continues to be at the forefront of my mind as I build this world of it's like its own little safe haven, based on who's there. Or it also is a place where you can come and learn something about yourself, like Loud did. So
Exactly. And
mhm.
literally, that's exactly it. And I think,
mhm,
like Sloan was mentioning, it's the the care that you've taken to create this community and to write this romance with this. There's joy, there's complexity, there's humor, there's chemistry. It's like when you hear that you are hitting all those notes and doing it well, what does that mean to you? And how, when you were writing this, how did you balance the heavier emotional moments with the lighter ones? Because the betrayal was really heavy, and
mhm.
she could have really
Yeah.
gone into a pit of despair, but the way it was written, it was a bit lighter for the reader. So it's like, I just really, I'm like, how does that happen for you?
Mhm. It's first of all, is the answer to the first part of your question is a huge compliment when readers can point those things out to me because I spend so much time building these characters and developing them. So when you guys feel that, I'm like, okay, I did it. Because there's a lot that goes into this. It's some nights you be sitting up like, I'm good, I'm done. you know. So it's a huge reward when my readers feel like, oh my God, I felt this. I could. It's a huge, huge reward. But how I go into it is that although it's fiction, it should mirror life because that's life. We're going to go through betrayal, tragedy, setbacks. And so, a lot like life, we have our moments where we're going to laugh to keep from crying. We're going to depend on our friends to help us, turn up and get our mind off things. So I keep a lot of that at the forefront of my mind when I'm working on my storylines. What would this be like if I was in this situation? If my friends were in this situation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's fiction, but it's a lot like life. We gotta still keep going on. And Demi says that in her opening chapter, she's like, the birds were a reminder of life still goes on. They still outside singing, even though I'm saying I'm in here want to die. So
I feel
that's
you.
how I look at it. Is life, it still has to go on. It's not going to stop for us because we have experienced betrayal or tragedy, loss. It keeps going, and we have to keep going, as hard as it
Absolutely.
may be sometimes.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes. Ashe.
While you were talking, I was thinking about all the loss
As
that poor
tough
Demi
as it
had.
is.
I'm like, oh man, I'm like, girl, that was actually a lot of loss. I hadn't
Yeah,
thought about
yeah,
it, and like all just one. I'm like, that's a lot of loss and
yeah.
everything like that. And shout out to
It
her
was. It was.
because when Lyle sees her, she's
Yeah, I think
dancing and
my
singing.
Yeah. But
yes. I mean, it helped him in a sense because he lost as well. But here is this woman who has lost both of hers, and had her life shaken up. So I think in a sense it made him feel like he could go on and he could be strong too. Sometimes we need that. We need that person.
Hmm.
for
We
sure.
do.
I think it's like you said before, they were what each other needed in that
They
moment.
really were.
Like, she's
Yes.
a very strong
Yes.
woman and he's
Yeah.
the strong. I'm always like, that statement, Jill's like, you can tell me to do, then you can tell me what to do, but if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. Like,
Yes.
so it's like, I was like,
That's
he
a good
needed
way
that.
to describe their dynamic.
Yeah. So it was just like,
Hmm.
That's
for
a great way
me,
to describe it.
yeah, I'm telling you, like I told you, I put that's me. That's me and Demi. We the same. I told y'all that's how I act. So I know her. I know her well.
Yes.
um,
Yes. Yes. I love that so many people feel like they can identify with her.
for sure, absolutely. She
I
was
love that.
very real to me. Very real to me. Even her, her sister was real. Angel was real. They all of the people. I I know someone like that, and that's what I was saying
Hmm.
before. Like, yeah, I went in this like I'm not gonna like her, but I know that story, which is why I
Mm-hmm.
understood the forgiveness that came because it's not like she could be. We'll find out hopefully when Britt writes the story. And she wasn't
Mm-hmm.
intentionally manipulative. It was more so you were completely abandoned. You didn't know who your father was.
Yes.
You see this family. They brought you in, but you're watching this family love
Mm-hmm.
each other, and you're
Yeah.
wanting to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So I understand how the jealousy and
Mm-hmm.
all of that could appear, but still
Mm-hmm.
they still brought you in, girl. We treated you like us, but I was like, I get
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
yeah.
definitely wanted to showcase that with Angelica because I think a lot of us sometimes experience things, and like it was a blessing to not have what you needed but still be able to be a part of a family. That's a blessing, but
Mhm.
it also makes you think about, can you really embrace it? Can you
Mhm.
really understand how important it is? If your viewpoint of it is, well, I don't have it for myself, and that's a lot of people, instead of embracing the blessing, is like, but it's not mine, and it's just like,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah, it was some layers to her, and I will dive into the more of that. But it was just, it's very layered. I don't think that it was as simple as just like jealousy and envy.
Mm-mm.
It was like, I don't have this for myself, so it's not really mine.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
yours. I'm just,
It's yours. I'm
yeah,
just, y'all just I'm here.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I
exactly,
think that
exactly.
and just, honestly, like I'm not from the Washington DC area. But I've been here since 2001 and my ex-husband's family is here and they're very close.
Hmm.
But that's one of the
Hmm.
reasons
Yeah,
why I stay in the area is because of how close they are. I want my daughter to have that. Because if I
yeah,
go somewhere else,
yeah.
we'll have like our family, but you won't have like your family, until you're
Hmm.
like around
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
there is something to appreciate about the familial connections that you showed in those stories. And again, like I said, I was just relaying it to how I want my daughter's life to be. I want her to have her connection. I want her to know my family. Like I want it to be that way, because there are situations where she's had a couple of friends, and I can, me, I'm a loner by trade. So I could have some great friends, and I know that they don't like me no more. I don't care. I'm a loner. But I have seen, because of how she and I operate, her friends, and she's only 15, but they operate a bit differently now. Like they treat her a different way once they see how we're integrated together, and how I'm always really inclusive with her friends too. It's like,
Wow.
we live in Ward 8. It's not, Ward 8 is what it is. DC Southeast is what it is. I
Yes.
am in a
Yes.
position where I can provide, and I've been blessed by friends and family too as well. So I pour into this community regardless of what's going on. And so I remember last winter, it was super cold in
Right.
DC, and she walks to school, and
Yes.
she was walking with her friend, and I was like, "Where the girl coat at?" And so she was like, "She doesn't have one." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna buy a coat and you just give it to her. Just say, I don't want them to know, because there is this energy around all of that." So for me, but she gave the girl the coat, and it shifted. And so I was like, that those type of situations where this is coming from me loving you, me integrating you into my family, and me
Right.
caring. Like, we're thinking it's great, but she's internalizing it as it's pity, and it never came that way from us. So for me, Angelica, I was like, that could be. She's like, yeah, y'all are doing all these things you're doing, but it's because you feel sorry for me, not because you love me. So, like, it was all hitting me when I was thinking through all of that. So yeah, he's a very layered character. Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
For
she's
sure.
got
For
her
sure.
layers.
But yes, yes, yes. So
Yes.
what else do I want to add? It's so much rolling through my brain. And you have the other two stories, the other series that came out before this, and that was like a lot of, it was
Yes.
heavy. It was super heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
when someone picks up your book, regardless of what are you wanting them to feel when they say, "Oh, this is a Britt W book"? Like, what do you what are you wanting a reader to think that they're going to experience?
No matter what the storyline is or what the characters are experiencing, I want readers to always feel like I can too. If those characters learned how to forgive, you can too. If they
Mm,
overcame trauma, you can too. If they learn how to love still while healing, you can too. And I think that that's what I want to be synonymous with me as an author. Like, I had a reader tell me, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna run with that. She said, I just feel like your books are like therapy sessions. Some of us don't want to go to therapy, some of us aren't comfortable, but we can read something by you and feel like, you know what? Let me call my mom because I am feeling some type of way. Or let me call so and so. And I it was a huge compliment to me. If that's how you view it and you feel like it has sparked you to do something, then I've done my job. Um, and I just want to continue to do that. Whatever these characters overcome, I want readers to feel like I can too. So that's what I want to be synonymous with me as an author. Oh, Britt gonna give you a word. It's gonna be something that you feel like, if they can overcome it, I can too. So, and I think I'm continuing to do that. More and more projects. I'm continuing. I don't think that everything will always have a heaviness to it. Because I think the Open for Business was much more lighthearted than my
for
series.
sure. Yeah.
But I have my moments. Yeah, I have my moments where I go, and it's gonna be heavy again. So it just depends. It just depends. But no matter what, I just want readers to feel like you can too. You don't have to stay in that place in your life, even if it doesn't happen right away. You don't have to stay there. That's a trick of the mind.
I love that. That's the title of this episode. You can too.
You can too. You
That's
can,
it. I love
And
that.
it, and
I
it's,
think
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
you can go through being, cheated on and come through it. And I think that a lot of times, like I say in the book, blessings are right on the other side of letting go.
Mm.
We hold on to that anger and those grudges because we feel like if we don't, we're letting that person get a pass. And the moment you let that stuff go is when you start getting blessed. You got to make room. There's no room. And a lot of people are sitting back right now like, why am I not getting blessed? There's no room. You got too much. Your storage is full. It's
Mm.
full. Make some room. Make some room.
Mhm.
And once you do, and you making room doesn't give that person a pass, it's making room for you. It doesn't give
Mhm.
them a pass. That forgiveness really is not about them.
Right, it's about
It's
you
for
and
you.
making room.
And Demi says that in a joking way, but it's I really, really live by this. Holding on to anger and bitterness, it ages you. It takes a toll. You look up, you didn't develop health problems. Let that stuff go. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And it's not easy. I never want anyone to think that it's easy. This
Mhm.
is a process. It's a process, but you got to start somewhere. You don't want to be 67 years old, like, yeah, baby.
Let that hang
No,
go.
let's
Let
get
it
some
go.
enjoyment while we're still here.
Right. Focus on what you can
We're
focus
still here.
on
Mhm.
and let it go.
Hmm.
Especially if it's
And
not if
seek
it
out
doesn't touch you.
community too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, seek out community because most a lot of times people are right in a community going through similar things, and so you'll know that you're not by yourself. I think a lot of us is in our head that I'm by myself. No, you're not. You're not. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It's a
we're
lot of
not
us that's going through things. We just gotta speak on it.
1,000%. I think, people, there's a vulnerability too when you open up and talk about what you're going through because there's a
Mhm.
risk of it being a bit of a penalty towards you too. Like you could think you're speaking to a
Yes,
person and then they're like fodder for them. So it's, going back to
that's
just how
true.
you built the
That's true.
community, but going back to how you built her community, that's beautiful. Like,
Hmm.
even when she
Hmm.
had the argument with her family and she, dipped out for a little bit, they immediately met her with love. It's
Hmm.
like it
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
never, it's never, yeah, we got issues, we got beef, but it's like we still know you need us and we're here for you regardless.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I definitely
Hmm.
I loved all of that.
Mhm.
So just,
Yeah.
I know in your time, if you do get to read outside of romance, Brit, what do you read? What are you liking? What job?
Well,
what sparks something in your face?
I've been an avid reader for many years. So I actually did not start reading romance. I started reading urban fiction street lit, like when I was really young. So romance happened later on in
Mm-hmm.
life. I didn't think that I would write romance right away because I was like, oh, I'm doing urban fiction. No,
Period.
it'll come later on. But I'm starting to enjoy a lot more than I ever did before, like thrillers. I was not a thriller girl. I prefer to watch than read it. But
Mm.
now I'm enjoying reading thrillers. And that wasn't the case at first. The only genre that I am like I'm there, but I haven't dived in is the fantasy genre. I haven't. I'm just like, okay, I'm trying. I just haven't been able to dive 100% over there, but I do love a good thriller. Um, I'm really getting into like the darker romance.
Oh yes. I love me a dark
But
romance.
yeah,
Love me
like
a good
I'm starting to, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I've been an avid reader for a long time. I've definitely loved different things. I do like historical fiction and but fantasy, I still just like I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. It's just not something that I will watch it. Like I love Lord of the Rings and things like that, but I sitting there reading it, and them books be like they
They be
thickies.
big. They be intense.
They
Yeah.
said, yeah.
Yeah, but I
They're very
do
thick.
will say this: I admire the authors because that world building that's a craft. So I
Mm-hmm.
will say
Mhm.
that while I might struggle to read
Mhm.
it, that world building is they be in a bag.
Height. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they do.
I appreciate that. I do.
And they spend decades creating that stuff too, like yeah,
Yes, yes.
I I definitely do enjoy fantasy more in the like
Mhm.
anime, like fighter space. But yeah, the
Mhm.
time they take in those thick books, I usually if I see a thick book, I'm
Yes.
like balk at it. So, but if it's in the e format, I don't know how thick it is, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Right. Right.
But
I've done
Yeah.
that
Right.
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm. I
so
take my hat off to them because that is a lot, and it's a lot to keep up with.
1,000%, yep, for sure. Well, it is. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Cause it's a whole different world. They be creating languages, and then
Mhm.
you got a fan like me.
Yes.
And if I love you down, then I really know what you the first book that you created in the series. I'm gonna be like, hold
Mhm.
up, my friend, can you explain to me
Mhm.
why this isn't like this anymore?
Mhm.
Because and then they're like, this was that shit 15 years ago. Why? You just started reading about it today. Of
Right.
course it's gonna change. Like, get out of the encyclopedia
Yeah.
of my
Yeah.
book. But they do. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
write this so
Yeah.
long. But
It's true. It's true.
what's next for you, Britt? What's coming down the pike?
Well, what's next is definitely the next installment in the Rubiel universe.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I am being very adamant about this is not a part two for Demi and Lyle. These stories going forward will be interconnected. So you will see the characters that you've fallen in love with, but the focal point is Ruviel. So this next one, like I said at the beginning of this, I don't know if y'all caught it or not. I think
I did.
readers in the beginning are gonna be like, "Hold on, how we get here?" But once again, I have a situation where I could not rob you guys of this character's experience. So I could not just place this character in Rubiel. I had to show y'all where they come from. And so, you know, some people may be like, oh my God. And then some people, wait a minute. Either way, I had to show you what his
Either way we
experience
reading
was
it.
for it to be authentic. Yeah, so it can be authentic to the storyline. And, it's I'm very proud of it because I think it shows a different side to my pen. Um that character is urban, so his storyline and his narration and his whole POV is urban. So you have this urban MMC with this southern FMC. So I loved it. I loved working on it. So that's next. I will give y'all exclusive because I'm here with y'all. You will get a novella centered around a character in Rubiel that I'm just gonna say it's Walt. Y'all will get something with Walt
Mm.
at some point. Yes, you'll get some
Hmm.
answers to questions that you may have had. So I'll say that part. I'm gonna leave that alone.
I'm like, nobody want to
But
read
I
about
also
Walt
have an
no
age
kids.
gap romance.
I
But
just thought
nobody want to
Walt
read
was a
about
victim
Walt.
of his mama.
Yes,
I said
he is.
Walt was a victim of his mom's
He was
insecurities.
1,000%.
Yes, yes, and honestly, like that happens. Like if a child is
It
supporting their
does.
parent enough, that can happen. You got people like
Mm-hmm.
grown people who don't know why they're walking around with certain anger and things like because it's not theirs, it's the parents. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a real thing too. And I think
Yeah,
that's what
and
his
that's
situation was. Like, oh,
talking
y'all
about
will
making the
see.
characters real. I definitely saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, you walking around for your mom. Your mom didn't put something on you that does not exist. And
Yes,
yeah.
yes. That you don't
People
Mm.
even
do that,
know
and
why you mad. Like
they do it all the
Ooh.
time. They do it to their sons all the time. So yeah,
oh
Mhm.
that
yes, yes.
I was kidding. I'm gonna read
Yes,
everything you
so
put out.
that but
So,
well, that makes me feel good. But yeah, that's what's next. Of course, the audiobook for Open for Business is now out. But yeah, I just want to continue to bring you guys more and more stories. Centered around this time. I mean, of course, I will have things in between, but it will be interconnected. It's not gonna be like part one, part two. And I did that intentionally because Demi and Lyle, they had their story, but you will see them in
Mhm.
this next one, and there's a beautiful moment with them in this next one.
I'm excited. I
You will
like
see
that.
it.
When you part one, part two, part three me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, dog. And then it's like I got to sit here and
Yeah,
wait for all of it to finish for the story to be complete.
yeah,
So, but I do like
yeah.
the fact, and I love when authors do that too, because if you create you create this town, if you will, it creates space if you do it to collaborate with other authors, and then they
Mm-hmm.
can like, reference the town in their book.
Yes.
And I love when that
Yes.
happens
Yes.
because it gives me a little tingle in my
Mm-hmm.
stomach because I think Nick Mills and RBJ do that. And so I was telling, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, oh my gosh, this is in this other book. Let me go back over here and tiptoe. It's like I just really, I'm
Right.
like, oh,
Right.
they really are cool in the background. They be talking
Yeah.
to each other. Like I love it so much. But
It
yeah.
leaves a lot of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It leaves a lot of possibilities for you to dive into, and I think that that's why I wanted to do it. I was like, "Oh, this could take me places." So, I want to continue to build in it, but I will be giving you guys stories, outside of it for sure.
I love it. I love that
For
you
sure.
always have a place to go home to in Rubiel. That's your home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 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 Oh, I love that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the last thing I want to ask is, like I said at the beginning when I was reading your bio, your motto, pen in hand and heart on the page. I like that a lot.
Yes.
And I have my feelings about it because when I read, I was like, oof, that's exactly what I love right there. But what does it mean
Mm-hmm.
to you as a writer it's your motto. So what does that mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What it means to me, it represents my mindset and how I approach my stories. No matter what you're reading from me, my heart will be on the page. There are moments in my books that I jump off of the page while these characters are telling their stories and they're narrating and everything. There's moments where you're like, "That's Brit." So that's what I mean when I say heart on the page. There's gonna always be a Brit gem dropped, or even like in Open for Business, I come up off the page at one point, and it's like a breaking through the, what is that, the fourth wall? They say, is that the saying?
Mhm.
And when
Mm-hmm.
I do the ode to Black men, it's like that was a moment. That's me, stepping in real quick. Hold on, Demi, let me say this. So that's what I mean when I say heart on the page. There's going to be something that I insert always that's straight from me. Um, sometimes readers may notice it, sometimes they may not, but I know it's there. And so that's what I mean by that, heart on the page aspect. It's my pen, it's my heart that I'm leaving with you guys every single story.
I love that. So, where can we find you out, on social media, but are you going to be anywhere so we can just pull up on you in person and hug you and say thank you for
Yes, so I mean that one has already been announced, and then I can't speak about the other one, but I will be at Pots and Pours next year. I'm in Houston,
and
and I have
oh,
another one I'll be a part of. And then I have things too that I'm going to be doing in the DMV too. I have one at the end of this month with Apartment 105 Books. Jayla, she'll be at a winery. Um, can't say where yet because she hasn't announced it, but that's coming. Probably by the time this come out, it'll be announced. But yeah, my goal is to continue to build in my city as well as out of state as well. And I'm just very blessed that I'm being acknowledged and recognized, and people are wanting me to be a part of, their book events, and readers want to see me. I'm just like, you want to see me?
yeah, we do. That's why I was
So
like,
that's
where you
very
going to be at?
exciting. That's very exciting.
I was like, you at a winery. I can't
So
wait till
yeah, I
they
will be
announce it.
outside.
I'm like, I can't wait till they talk
Yeah,
about
she'll be
this
announcing
winery.
it
I'm
soon because
pulling up.
it's literally, yeah, it's literally at the end of this month. So the last weekend of this month, and it's huge. She's gonna have, I think, 4 or 5 local DMV authors
Mm,
to celebrate with her because it's the official opening of her business, her mobile bookstore. So that's exciting.
nice. That is really exciting. Well,
Yeah,
It's really
that's
exciting.
exciting.
congratulations. And where are you
Yeah,
online?
thank you. So you guys can find me at Britt W on the page. That's Instagram. TikTok, it's done like Britt W, but you can find me also on TikTok, author Britt W. My website, brittwauthor.com. Find me there. My books are there. But yeah, I'm on Audible, Britt W on Audible. So I'm around. I'm around.
She
I'm
everywhere, y'all.
around.
Just type
But yeah,
in
that's
Brit W.
exciting.
Birthday.
Yes.
I'm there. I'm there.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for your time with us. Thank you for your pen. Thank you
Thank you,
for your
ladies.
heart. And I'm excited for you. Congratulations on all the accolades that I know will continue to come. Because once the door, you created the space
Thank
for it. You made
you.
room for it. So it's about to just flow on down. And thank you for giving this
Thank
little
you so
podcast
much.
the time of day.
No, don't ever use the word little. No. I look at
you.
everything as it's big business. Y'all sitting here and creating a space for us to come and talk about books, especially romance, and that's a big thing. And I appreciate you guys for wanting to sit down with me.
All right. Well, everybody, till next time, follow us on Urban Whispers Podcast everywhere. Sloane is the person handling all of the Facebook for Urban Whispers. So go talk to her over there. She says she's lonely. So go talk to Sloane on Facebook, please.
Yes.
And, y'all keep me honest. We're trying to keep up with the Facebook, the Instagram and the TikToks of it all. We've been pushing more content forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any questions for us, definitely email us. But you follow us everywhere at Sloane_Bueller, at Urban Whispers Podcast, Britt W, type her name in. Also, don't forget at Morgue Stage Book. We missed her today, but we bring her back when the second Ruevielle story comes out that we're going to be shocked about. You coming back?
Yes, I would love it.
All right.
I would love to.
Thank you so much. And we will see you
guys
bye. Next week. Bye.
Y'all.